Strike up the band. San Diego earns a unique honor, setting it apart from other military towns.
I'm almost 8, but I'm 7.
And he's old enough to pipe up, one of the youngest speakers at a senator's town hall, and his message for President Trump.
We're out here in front of the offices of Congressman Duncan Hunter, where a group of his constituents are still trying to meet with him. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. Lawmakers in California's LGBT caucus are chastising President Trump for his move to rescind a federal guidance aimed at protecting transgender students. The president's decision will likely have little impact on existing protections in California. The state's public schools are already required by law to allow transgender students to choose which restroom or locker they use.
The right of expression, the right to be able to use whatever facility they need to use, just like you and I use at our home, in terms of the restrooms. And so, and their civil rights and human rights are fully protected here in California.
Today, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos said the directive was an example of the Obama administration's overreach.
It's our job to protect students and to do that to the fullest extent that we can, and also to provide students, parents, and teachers with more flexibility around how education is delivered and how education is experienced, and to protect and preserve personal freedoms.
15 states have explicit protections for transgender students on the books. One state, North Carolina, has restrictions on transgender people's use of public bathrooms in government buildings. As the political debate heats up over replacing the Affordable Care Act, one local state legislator says California should start exploring single-payer universal health coverage. KPBS reporter Allison St. John says the big question is how to cover the cost.
San Diego State Senator Tony Atkins has introduced a bill to explore a single-payer, government-run healthcare system for everyone living in California. UCSD's Dr. Robert Hertzka, past president of the California Medical Association, says this was last explored nearly 10 years ago. But he says even with a substantial across-the-board payroll tax, it would have come up $88 billion short of covering costs. Hertzka says California's experience of building a new health exchange under Obamacare won't make much difference to the cost of a single-payer plan now.
The big issue is the fiscal issue and just connecting the dots to making it all pencil out and pay for it. And the fact that you already kind of know how to do an exchange, you'd spend a few $1 million less figuring out how to set up an exchange. But in the context of $88 billion, I think that's a rather modest advantage.
Atkins says the details of a single-payer plan have yet to be explored, but she believes that health care should be a right, like the right to public safety and education.
Clearly, cost is going to be an issue, but I think we have enough experience to have a real dialogue finally about this, and I think it is the next possible step. It is a vision that is backed by the values of Californians. People want access to health care.
Atkins says the serious prospect of losing ground on health coverage under a repeal of Obamacare is what makes it worth considering a single-payer plan. Allison St. John, KPBS News.
It appears to be a cool reception for the president's top envoys in Mexico. Today, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly met with their counterparts. Mexico leaders voiced their frustration with Trump's immigration plans.
Today, we have expressed to our counterpart, the United States, the necessity to build conditions for dialogue that allow for us to build a new working phase. In that sense, we stated our disagreement on some of the recently announced measures by the Department of the Interior of the United States, which have direct implications for our country and our countrymen. In particular, we have shared our worries at an eventual rise in deportations and the possibility that citizens of other countries may be returned to our national territory until their legal situations are resolved.
Today, Kelly pledged America will not enlist its military to enforce immigration laws. He also says there will be no mass deportations. A man who has been living and working in Los Angeles under the DACA program has been detained. U.S. Border Patrol officials say they arrested Jesus Alonso Arreola Robles in San Diego County last week. They say he's suspected of alien smuggling. He's now detained in a Georgia facility and faces deportation. Family members say he renewed twice with the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program created by President Obama. His lawyers say no charges have been filed and he's been unable to gain access to his client. The president may touch on that and more next week as he's set to deliver his first State of the Union address Tuesday. We'll have special coverage of his speech starting at 6 right here on KPBS. Outrage in Orange County after an off-duty police officer fires his gun near kids. Just a heads up, the video may be graphic for some viewers. This was the scene last night in Anaheim. Hundreds marched through the streets, some blocking traffic, others carrying signs that said no shooting zone. This goes back to a confrontation between the officer and students on his front lawn Tuesday. A 13-year-old boy told the officer he was going to sue him, but the officer says he thought he said shoot. Police arrested 24 people last night, including kids. At least 2 pedestrians have been killed by motorists in San Diego County in the past month. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says critics believe the city is neglecting its promise to make the streets safer for pedestrians and cyclists.
I'm standing at the intersection of Broadway and 6th Avenue downtown with Kathleen Ferrier, policy director for the nonprofit Circulate San Diego.
14 people walking in the last 15 years have been seriously injured here. They haven't been killed, but they've been seriously injured. And yet some simple modern infrastructure improvements have not yet been made.
Improvements like highly visible crosswalks with thick stripes of bright paint. It's been almost a year and a half since the City Council passed its Vision Zero plan to eliminate all traffic deaths by 2025. Ferrier says city leaders have been pretty good at passing policies, but when it comes to actually changing the design of San Diego streets, she says the city lacks commitment.
The city is tepidly behind the strategy, but not as passionately as we'd like to see to really change traffic culture in San Diego.
A prime example is a plan to redesign a half-mile section of El Cajon Boulevard in City Heights. The final design proposal has no protected bike lanes. Linda Morabian is deputy director of the city's transportation department. She says the final design was what the community wanted.
Our commitment is to all modes. So it is a balancing act, and we can't forget that the car is on the street.
Asked if motorists would have to sacrifice some convenience to meet the Vision Zero goals, Morabian said no. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
2 employees affiliated with SDGE spoke at a county supervisor's meeting last week. This might not seem like a big deal, but it's possibly their comments violated state law. KPBS reporter Claire Tragesser explains.
Last week, the county supervisors were considering using an alternative energy program called Community Choice to bypass SDG&E and buy energy directly. State law says SDG&E can't lobby against Community Choice unless it sets up an independent organization. It did that, but the state hasn't given the organization final approval. Community Choice advocates say people working for the independent organization shouldn't be lobbying until they get the final okay from the state. But at the supervisors meeting, that's just what happened. 2 lobbyists got up and spoke about Community Choice. One of them, Frank Tassin, told KPBS he checked with his lawyer as well as county lawyers, and they said it would be okay. Claire Tragesser, KPBS News.
San Diego has been a military town for a long time, but today it was designated a Coast Guard city. San Diego Representative Scott Peters and other leaders recognize the city's commitment today to the Coast Guard, its service members, and their families. The U.S. Coast Guard Air Station was established in San Diego in 1937.
But even back in 1937, when this air station was established, the affinity that the crews had for the community was immediate. Well, the community reciprocated, and their affinity for the Coast Guard was just as strong.
San Diego is a proud partner in the national defense, and we think of ourselves mostly in terms of the Navy and the Marines, but the Coast Guard's a really important part of that as well.
Congress has been recognizing cities associated with the U.S. Coast Guard since 1998. So far, about 16 have earned this designation. The SpaceX Dragon finished its 250-mile delivery to the International Space Station. The ship was a day late because of a GPS problem. Today's docking was smooth. Another shipment is expected Friday from the Russians. The ship flies back to Earth next month with science samples and other supplies. Well, clear skies tonight for San Diego, but it won't last long. Shanae Shocker has tonight's forecast.
High pressure building in across much of the western U.S., and that is good news for us. We're going to lose some of that cloudier weather that we saw. The gustier winds not going to be as strong, though we will still see some heading into tomorrow as well. 48 degrees for tonight out across the metro area here. Mainly clear conditions. Once again, we're seeing an offshore flow keeping that marine layer out. Unfortunately, what that means is cooler temperatures on the way, especially out into the mountains. So Ramona, 28 degrees, but Mount Laguna going to be extremely chilly out here. 17 degrees for our low, and with the breeze out towards the mountains, going to feel even chillier than that. Borrego Springs, 38, and out towards Oceanside, 37 degrees. Into our Friday, drier conditions going to flow in. We're going to see plenty of sunshine here, but it's still going to remain cool. A lot of that snowfall held off in towards the northern Four Corners and out towards the north central U.S. However, we do see another storm on the horizon here. We're going to stay in those 60s, partly sunny skies through the first day of our weekend. Saturday is going to be the day, especially out towards the coast, that you're going to want to find yourself outdoors, because as Sunday rolls around, we'll see some rain, and then that rain's going to stick with us into as you head back to work here on your Monday as well. Mostly sunny conditions back into Tuesday, and it's still going to remain pretty cool. Inland, more so looking at that wet weather, just held off towards early week, though we will be seeing cloudier weather sprinkling on our Sunday, and also some chances of very spotty showers throughout the afternoon. We'll pick up some more rain as we head into the late night hours of our Sunday, and then we'll dry back out once again for our Tuesday as well. Going to stay cool here. Now, in the mountains, things change just a touch. We cool off into our Saturday, 46 degrees for our high Saturday, low 25. Into our Sunday, our low is going to be below freezing, so we could see a couple of slippery conditions out here. 49 degrees for our high on our Sunday, but that's when the rain begins, and the rain's going to stick with us, stay chilly and through our Monday as well. Once again, gustier breezes through the mountain passes with the heavier rain could cause a diminishing visibility out there. And last but not least, into the deserts we go. Well, we are sunny through the weekend, thank goodness. We do see cloudier conditions roll in here on our Sunday, and other than that, as you head back to work, not extremely heavy rainfall moving in, but we do see the chances of some spottier showers. Temperature is going to remain in those mid 60s to upper 60s and sunny skies on our Tuesday. For KPBS News, I'm Shanae Shocker.
Coming up tonight on PBS News Hour, we're going beyond the red carpet. The Oscar-nominated film shining a light on the Syrians offering hope in the middle of violence.
Usually in our work we would be on site in a location, even in a war zone, filming ourselves, but in this situation the white helmets themselves said please don't do that, because actually you put our teams at greater risk.
Plus, the president's advisor who's helped bring a populist nationalist agenda to the White House. That's tonight on PBS News Hour starting at 7. Right here on KPBS. A Guatemalan migrant mother and her son have called an Austin, Texas church home for more than a year, and they have no intentions of leaving because they're afraid they'll be deported. AP reporter John Moan has their story.
10-year-old Yvonne Ramirez plays behind the privacy and sanctuary of a Presbyterian church in Austin, Texas. For the undocumented Guatemalan migrant, this is home for him and his mother, Hilda.
Yo vine porque
She says she came because of the danger in her country.
por el peligro que está pasando en mi país.
Mother and son fear deportation. St. Andrew's Church is their refuge.
they're not threatening people, and the idea of somebody afraid of them, sending them back to their death, it was unthinkable.
Deportation was already a possibility under the Obama administration. That White House oversaw the deportation of more than 2 million people living in the country illegally during his time in office. But local migrant activists say with President Trump, it's even more likely.
Obama built this machine, but he left it in the hands of Trump. And what we're seeing now is what that means.
The Ramirez's arrived in 2014 along with thousands of other Central Americans crossing into Texas illegally at ports of entry like McAllen. After being processed by immigration authorities, Ramirez says she and her son spent the next 11 months in a detention facility. She recounted how cold it was in the facility. When they got out, she says soon after, federal law enforcement engaged in raids of immigrant communities in Austin. She says she had nowhere to go and was really afraid. Pastor Jim Rigby welcomed them in. Now he fears even the possibility federal agents would raid the church.
I think everything is on the table now. Break windows, come in, take them in the middle of the night. None of that would surprise me.
He's standing firm. Since early 2016, the church became their house.
Me gusta vivir aquí porque me siento más seguro.
Yvonne says that he likes that they feel safe here. For now, a safe area for a boy who's seen a lot more than most children his age. John Moan, Associated Press, Austin, Texas.
This week, San Diego voters have been showing up for town hall meetings, all attempting to get some face-to-face time with their elected leaders in Congress. We have seen rallies and protests for lawmakers from both sides of the aisle. There is a protest tonight outside Congressman Duncan Hunter's office in El Cajon. KPBS reporter Steve Walsh has been trying to keep tabs on his whereabouts.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here with you.
This week, lawmakers returned home from Washington roughly a month after the inauguration of Donald Trump. Many of them are holding public events.
They want to be involved.
Locally, Congresswoman Susan Davis has kept a packed schedule. Congressman Issa wouldn't appear at a town hall on health care, but he did take questions for over an hour when a mixed group of supporters and protesters appeared at his office.
Planned Parenthood will continue to receive the money, substantial money.
I'm sorry that Duncan couldn't be with us today, but he and I were proud to support this application.
Congressman Scott Peters was at a ceremony today to dedicate San Diego as a Coast Guard city.
No, I've been really busy this week. I think we have something every night. We've had 2 town halls and a meeting with a lot of the local activist community. Tonight I've got a Biocom event. I think I might see my family tomorrow night. But it's been a busy week, but it's appropriately so. I think it's an important time.
Congressman Duncan Hunter was supposed to be at this same event, but at the last moment he canceled. We've reached out to his office several times to get his public schedule, but so far they haven't responded to our requests. We do know that last night he did go out to dinner with the Commandant of the Coast Guard.
I'm sure his heart is here, but he was called away to other business.
That was Steve Walsh reporting. He also asked Congressman Peters and the Admiral why Congressman Hunter canceled. Neither of them knew. KPBS has also reached out to the office of Congressman Juan Vargas this week and has not received a response. Congresswoman Susan Davis is entering her 9th term as the U.S. representative for much of San Diego and parts of East County. The Democrat has been home this week during the congressional recess. Davis spoke with KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen about health care, border security, and the movement to resist President Trump.
Congresswoman Davis, thank you for your time. You held a town hall meeting earlier this week with your colleague Scott Peters. What did you hear from your constituents there?
Well, we heard a lot. I think what we know is that people are hungry. They want to be involved. They don't like what's happening in the country. They feel that our values, the protections that we hold dear, programs that they've come to feel very secure about, could go away. And so they want to know what we're doing about that and what they can do.
And what did you tell them?
We told them, number one, I think that people who want to be engaged need to think about what drives them. What are they best at? They ask me, what's the best way I can help? I always say the best way is what you're best at, what you would feel that you'd like to make a contribution in. And for a lot of people, that may be organizing, but it may also be writing letters and alerting their colleagues, staying active in their workplace with people that they can talk to and learn from. We always have to come out of our comfort zone now and then to do that, and I think that's also important for people.
Some of the Republicans in Congress have started coming out with their plans to replace the Affordable Care Act. What's your take on those plans?
Well, so far, I think their plans are sort of shells, basically, and there is nothing in any of those plans that guarantees for people the policies that are part of the Affordable Care Act now. And what people want is to be sure that if you have a pre-existing condition, that you're not going to be charged more or have no access to health care in the future. And we all have personal examples of that. They also want to be sure that, women want to be sure that if they're women, that they're not actually a pre-existing condition. There are so many pieces of the Affordable Care Act that people have come to appreciate, and they really don't want those to go away. So they're not sure, and I think these plans don't guarantee for people that they're even possible. That's really the problem here. There really are no plans that you can look at.
The Trump administration has come out with some guidelines for implementing the president's border security plans. How do you see those guidelines or those rules as affecting San Diego?
Well, San Diego is going to be greatly affected by that, and I think that's why people are very concerned what's going to happen. How, in fact, are they going to finance this? Where is the money going to come from? They're asking for 15,000 new border agents. Where is that money going to come from? My worry is that some of that could come from programs like community policing, that they would come out of the Justice Department, monies that we have set aside for law enforcement, and that districts and members are able to access as they work with their police departments, as they work with their sheriff's department. So I think we all have an obligation to find out the answers to that, and I think to push back against many of those programs that they're suggesting are key to our security. That's not where we need to go. Law enforcement is not so much the problem. We need a more comprehensive approach to immigration. Everybody knows that, and yet we've had such a reluctance to move forward.
On that note of pushing back, now that Republicans have control of both Congress and the White House, what do you see your role as a Democrat? Do you resist and do you push back against all of their policies, or do you try to find areas that you can cooperate and work together?
Yeah, well, they certainly are driving the car of governance right now. I mean, they have the ability to not create gridlock, and I think that we are, and I certainly am happy to work with them if they want to send that car running. But I'm afraid that there still are far too many enablers on the other side of the aisle right now that are not interested in making governance work. And I think we have a president who has not been as interested in governing as much as being the owner of a lot of companies. And there is a different mindset that takes place. We need to be sure that the people who are being asked to be part of the cabinet, as well as others who are part of governing today, that we're making things work for them and not just putting so many roadblocks in the way. And that's part of my concern.
Congresswoman Davis, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
A clarification, the Trump administration plans to hire 15,000 new agents for both Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. From the mouths of babes, a 7-year-old boy lightens the mood at a contentious town hall meeting in Arkansas with his concerns about President Trump's agenda.
That Donald Trump was deleting PBS Kids just to build a wall because he doesn't like Mexicans, and he's taking down parks. People like parks. People like PBS Kids. And the Mexican wall, people like Mexicans.
The meeting was an opportunity for people to speak with GOP Senator Tom Cotton. Ahead of this lighthearted moment, Senator Cotton fielded questions about the repeal of the Affordable Care Act and much more. But it was Toby's comments that ultimately stole the show. San Diego's gas and electric plans to unveil the world's largest lithium-ion battery energy storage facility tomorrow in Escondido. The facility will be able to store up to 120 megawatt hours of energy. SDGE officials say that amount can serve about 20,000 customers with 4 hours of power. Construction on the facility and a smaller storage system in El Cajon began last summer. The California Public Utilities Commission has directed Southern California Electric to fast-track additional storage options to enhance regional reliability. Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. On Morning Edition, there may be a looming crackdown on recreational marijuana, what White House spokesperson Sean Spicer had to say about possible changes to enforcement. And on Midday Edition, counting down to a date with a little gold man. We dish about Oscar hopefuls on the red carpet tomorrow at noon on KPBS Radio. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.